In the previous episode, we joined up with professional hunter Willem de Beer and Field Sports Africa presenter Richard Leonard, and we took airgun hunting to the next level with one of the most insane night vision outings I have ever had. We managed to take out a whole lot of scrub hares, porcupines, and even a duiker for the pot, and it was an absolutely fantastic start to our time at Marshall Vale. In that video, you got to see some action-packed African hunting at its best, but in this one, we're going to tone it down just a bit and do some classic farmyard pest control. Right, so here's the situation. We're at a farm now called Marshall Vale. It's an absolutely beautiful property, just flanked by mountains on all sides. We're far away from civilization, there's no cell phone reception here, and we've been having an absolute blast over the past few days, doing all kinds of hunts out on the farm. We had a night hunt last night where I've shot more animals than I've ever shot in my life. We got 7 hares, 3 porcupines, and a duiker. It was just great, but now we're all really tired from these few days of hunting, and we want to take it nice and easy today. So we've noticed that these red-winged starlings, which are quite a big agricultural pest here in South Africa, are all around this farmhouse, and they like to sit right on top of the trees. So what we've done is we've taken the impact out today, we've put the scope cam on the back, and we're going to spend a little bit of time just sitting down, relaxing, taking a look at the top of the trees, and if we see some of those red-winged starlings, we're going to take some shots at them. One of the biggest problems that the red-winged starlings cause is that they are cavity nesters, so they nest in the rooftops of buildings, and they carry lice, which means that if you've got sheds where you keep, let's say, cattle or sheep or even store feed for these animals, then when the birds nest in the roof, some of the lice or some of the diseases that they carry or even their feces can get into that feed, and it's actually a problem for the animals. So I'm always happy to take out a few starlings. Let's get to it. The farmhouse at Marshall Vale is nestled between the mountains and is surrounded by tall trees on all sides. These trees had been planted by the original owners of the house generations back as a windbreaker, but they also provide perching spots for the starlings, and it's out of these trees that I'm planning to shoot them today. The plan is very straightforward: walk around the house, spot the starlings, take the shot. With an accurate rifle like the Impact, it's almost too easy. Starlings are smart birds, and they won't hang around after you've taken a shot. It's important to keep moving, keep covering ground, and if you're patient, you'll find them. Sure. Okay, it's just over 70 meters. There's very little wind now, so I'm quite comfortable taking a shot. It's going to hold about 2 mil dots over to get the scope cam set up. Sitting nice and still there. If you watch this pellet as it curls in, you'll notice that it is incredibly stable in flight. This is one of the main reasons I've been using the Impact so much. It's a very consistent rifle. Most of the shots I'm taking today are from pretty close, but it's the angles of the shots that can make things quite difficult, and so a rangefinder is pretty important. I've got holdover values for different incline angles and ranges on my rangefinder, and this really helps me to just dial it in properly. Another useful tip is to make sure that the butt of your rifle is always supported. I'm using my hand here, but you can also use a sandbag or even your knee if you're sitting down. Straight down. Very happy with that. Yes, these things are just dropping like stones now. It's been a good day so far. Many people make the assumption that I am a bloodthirsty killer based on the fact that I shoot so many different species of animals. They think that I just shoot everything I see, but the truth is that there are hundreds of species that I don't shoot at all, Hundreds of species that I enjoy being around and enjoy studying. Take one of these black-headed orioles, for example. They are absolutely beautiful birds, and there is no reason at all to shoot them. Even the starling family has species that I don't shoot. These glossy starlings are not only beautiful, but they're also not a nuisance at all, and so when we see them, we leave them well alone. But back to the red-winged starlings. As you can see here, I had to hold under for this shot, despite it being about 50 meters away. Again, this is because of the angle. That smile on my face just tells the story. It's always nice to know that you've made a clean shot and spared the bird of any sort of suffering. I was lucky to have good weather on this day. It was sunny, it was warm, perfect for this kind of hunting. Another starling presents himself in one of the treetops, and this shot unfortunately wasn't so great. Now, I'll be the first to admit when I mess up, and I definitely did not get this one right. I overestimate the range and hold a bit too low, and the pellet passes through the breast muscle instead of the vitals. But that's why I generally like to opt for the bigger 22 caliber airgun instead of the 177. It's a little bit more forgiving, and by the time I get to this bird, he's already dead. Okay, so you'll see I've got two bipods on the gun here. The Atlas bipod, which is nice and short, really sturdy, allows me to keep really still. But the problem with this bipod is that because it's so short, I cannot get steep enough to take some of the shots on the birds right on the top of the trees. So I've got this one over here as well, the Vanguard Equalizer 2. This one's got this nice rubber piece over here, which just happens to kind of fit perfectly on the air cylinder at the end. And this one, because it's quite long, allows me to get nice and steep for those really high shots on the birds. Allows me to get nice and stable and take my shot and put them down quickly. That was about 60 meters on the angle. 60 meters, maybe 20-degree incline. Just held a little bit over, the pellet curled down straight into him, dropped like a stone. I know you're probably pretty sick of seeing this gun. I've filmed a lot of hunting videos with it since I've got it. I've been wanting to try and mix things up, you know, switch between my guns. I've got quite a few guns at home, so I could, I suppose, be switching between them, but to be honest, I'm loving this gun so much right now that I'm finding it very difficult to pick up anything else. It's just so reliable, and I think I've got a lot of confidence in this gun because of what I've seen it do at long range. And confidence is very important when you're taking long shots, because if you start to doubt yourself, then you'll start to, you know, if you think your gun's shooting a bit left, then you'll hold a bit right, and it may not be the gun, it may be the wind, and it just messes up everything. So I've got confidence in this gun. It's doing the job for me extremely well. So I don't see myself really switching to anything else unless I really desperately want to change. But for now, stick with this gun. Yeah, the combination of Hawk Frontier and FX Impact is undoubtedly the best combination I've ever had. And I think it shows in what I've done with this gun. I mean, you've seen me shoot 3 porcupines and 7 hares in one night with this gun, and it just absolutely put those things straight down. Yeah, it's a winning combination for sure. With a good morning of shooting done and dusted, we decided to take a break and do some sightseeing. The landowner had told us about a cave high up in the mountains in which they had discovered a whole lot of perfectly preserved Bushman paintings. So off we went up a mountain pass and soon came to the cave. According to experts, these particular paintings had been done over 1,000 years ago, so it was quite amazing to see them up close and just to think back to the time when they were drawn.
Amazing. What do they use for that white?
Nobody knows.
So look at these two, yeah, look at the detail in them and stuff, eh?
Of course, the paintings drew the attention of all the cameramen and photographers on the scene, but it wasn't just the inside of the cave that caught our attention. The landscape all around the cave was beautiful as well. We got an absolutely stunning panoramic view of the surrounding mountains, and this is why I love the Eastern Cape of South Africa. It's rugged and it's untamed. There's so much to do here, and despite the fact that it can be quite dangerous, I really don't ever see myself moving. When we get back to the farmhouse, we decide to change plans just a little bit. The landowner takes us to an old derelict building a few kilometers from the farmhouse, and we set up over there. Right, as you can see behind me here, these buildings are quite run down. And that's because these were previously inhabited buildings, but they probably haven't been used for decades. They're falling apart, there's ivy growing everywhere, there's pigeons living in the roof. We're going to take a walk around. I've seen quite a few starlings just flying around, so I think we might have some luck here as well. Alas, luck is not on our side this time, and this one gets away. Starlings should not be underestimated. They're actually very, very clever birds. And you can see after seeing one or two of their friends drop, they are very, very aware of what this gun can do and what I can do. So it's definitely getting exponentially more difficult to shoot them now. Probably only going to get one or two more shots, then we're going to have to call it a day. The wind's also picking up, which isn't helping, but we are close enough to kind of not have to worry about the wind too much. I don't know if that was a perfect shot, but I think I got enough of him to put him down quite cleanly. I'm happy with that. Right, I think we're going to call it a day there. We've had some good success. We've been hunting for quite a few hours now, but the wind's just starting to pick up quite badly, and the birds are starting to get very clever, and they're starting to move off. So that's the end of another one. The impact has done a fantastic job once again. It's put them down like a hammer, and we've got everything through the scope cam on camera, so that is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.